I'm Christina Hagopian. I am celebrating 20 years in business. It just means I'm really old. I'm getting to be an old lady in this field. But as Michael mentioned, we are a design firm first, and we specialize in 3 areas. We branding, UX design, and email marketing. When I say branding, it really encompasses all of the strategy of who you are, what you look like, sound like, feel like, and how you want to differentiate from your competitors. It's not just the logo, it's how you're applied in many different media. Although we do some logo design as well. And the UX design, we do all of the front end design for websites and e-commerce. And that is why we partner quite frequently with development companies like Michael's. And I don't have any developers in-house, and I'm always looking for partners in that field. And I usually turn to Michael's team. And then my email marketing is our secret weapon. It's our kryptonite, and it's how we've been able to land some of our largest clients and, Fortune 50. We've worked with Pepsi. We had a 5-year retainer doing their emails. We did a series with Audible, Sesame Street. We just did a series for Black Lives Matter to try to help raise funds for the organization. It's really where we have been our core differentiator, and it's not only to beautify their brand messages, but it's really thinking about the strategy, and we are platform agnostic. We do not worry too much about what email platform you're in, although we can certainly help you make that decision if you're looking to move. But we work across all platforms, enterprise level to, as small as a MailChimp. And we just updated our website for the 20th anniversary. We added all new case studies and gave some a fresh new look. And yeah, it's exciting to be in business this long. It just means that we've had to pivot and evolve and change to meet the market needs at every turn. And I'm excited to be here to learn more about what you do. And I get my greatest referrals from other marketers, how other people that are working with other agencies, clients that are in the same arena. And I'm happy to hear more about what you're doing to see how we might be able to partner. But think of us as the front end design for every channel, and especially for email as well. I can certainly share some case studies as we move along too. Michael, how much do I have time?
You got plenty of time. You got 11 and a half minutes, including Q&A. So whatever.
Oh, okay. So I can share, actually, this is a really cool case study. We worked with Joseph Summer, who was also a member of our trusted marketing network. He creates branded materials across all promotions, and he realized it was something he wanted to create branded marketing for his own brand and create his own brand. And so it was mostly for men and kind of the millennial man who is looking to have fashion forward scarves and accessories and briefcases and possibly, phone charger cases. And so we created this logo mark that has the JR as a, modern monogram for him to be able to place it on, all sorts of products. And it was really a beautiful a mark that it's very timeless, but modern in the same way. And he's going to be taking this logo and putting it on several products and materials. And we wanted to illustrate how that would look for him and give him a style guide so that he can move forward and start creating and sourcing and doing all of his, embroidery and patterns. So we created this repeatable pattern that he could use on fabrics, and showed how it looks in a bow tie, or where are our bow ties? Yeah, here they are. How that pattern can be repeatable. It was a super fun project, and it hasn't launched yet in terms of the marketplace, but it's coming soon. And these were all just mock-ups to show how the logo and the fabrics could be utilized. And let's show you I'll show you an email project that would be, where is it? Here we go. What we did for, I would say Black Lives Matter is more of what we do on a regular basis. Our goal often for email marketing is to figure out the problems that people are having in terms of reaching their audience and communicating. And what we realized here was that they weren't sending timely thank yous for their donations or trying to activate people to give on a regular basis. And so what we realized was they needed to have a welcome series and a thank you cadence for any donor that's already given, and a prompt to try to send donations in on maybe a weekly basis or a monthly basis, however small. And so we created this series that was really making you feel a part of the community, a part of the mission, and also telling people directly where their dollars were going. And because when you're giving to a nonprofit, you also want to make sure that your money is actually seeing change. And so here we've actually kind of given an anatomy of what makes a good donation email, and worked with the organization to make it in their right voice, and gave different attainable tiered giving, and no donation was too small for them. And in fact, after we did this series, they got a 6-figure donation shortly after. So we were really feeling like we gave them the right tools and the right templates to take their organization and run. This was the Canada chapter. And just some illustrations of using their brand messaging, but also making it really easy to send weekly messages and write them themselves and send them themselves.
I have a question.
Yes.
So who does sort of the technical work on the email campaigns? Is that internal, or do you work with other agencies, or is it a mix?
So it is a mix. Like for Audible, they had their internal team. For Pepsi, we always delivered the HTML and sent it, and then they deployed it. What we find is not every web developer knows how to develop for email. Email is a very specific HTML, and how to debug for Outlook in particular, and make sure that all the cross-browser testing has been done. I have certain web developers that I turn to over and over again, and that's all they do. They don't develop websites, they only develop emails, and they stay on top of the best practices, and they know, Klaviyo in and out, or they know Salesforce in and out, whatever platform they need to be on. I usually have somebody for. Those are relationships that I've had forever, and I find that it's, my developers are worth gold. People come to us for the design, but they have to function and work. So that what we do for our nonprofits is something that I'm as my business is getting older, it feels like I care more about, what I'm working on and what I'm putting out in the world. And these are the types of organizations that I, really feel strongly about. In fact, we did a brand for Christopher Street Financial, and it was the same kind of, even though they're not nonprofit, it was like we were aligning our company with other companies that we, wanted to help. And Christopher Street Financial was one of the first companies for giving advice, particularly in a time when gay and lesbian individuals were not able to marry, and how they were able to merge their money was really, really important. And so we rebranded them after being in business for over 20 years, and kept some of their heritage, but also gave them a new look and feel. And this just launched recently as well. So this came in through Kelly, Michael. She had a relationship with the firm's president, and we created a whole new look and feel for them. So I mean, our work spans across many verticals. What I always say is what the unifying factor is that the organization believes that good design enhances the value of their products and services, and they see it as an essential ingredient to their success of their business. And if they believe that, we can partner on anything. If they see it as an expense or a line item, then we're already digging ourselves out of a hole. But we really do more than beautify. I can show you some of the marks that we've done in the past. We really help craft a message, figure out the look and feel of an entire store, down to the tissue paper and the boxes for this one. How are we sending a subscription, beauty products? We've done everything under the sun. I feel like that's where the 20 years comes in. It's like we've figured out the problem before, probably, or something very similar, and can certainly bring that engagement. This was actually another passion project. It was right after the 2020 elections, when the world was divided and still divided. And this was a bipartisan women's group that was trying to bring unity to both Republicans and Democrats together under the unifying force of promoting women's economic security and making sure that women of every economic timetable as well as age group was setting up success, and something I definitely believe in, is all women should have their own money and be independent. And they were trying to work with Capitol Hill to make policies for that in a very bipartisan way. And still
we have 2 minutes left. Do you want to open it up for questions? Sure.
I'm just going to scroll through and people can share anything. I can talk all day about design. So
yeah, I would say that, Christina is, when people say design is really important to them, and they want somebody who's a pro, as you can see from her work, it's beautiful and compelling. So she's my go-to for a lot of design work. And Christina, I know, has gotten some work within the past few months from another member of the Trusted Referral Network. And we're working together for a startup in the medical services space that has an app that's a critical part of their business.
Yes.
Other people, questions?
Hey, Christina.
Yes.
Hey, it's Dean. A pleasure to meet you, and nice to meet everybody in the group. Your work is just lovely and phenomenal, and it has such a great feel to it, and it really flows. So I just want to compliment you on that. I just want to follow up on the question that Michael had regarding the email, because obviously every team has their own email marketing component, and they've got different systems and things in place, and I encounter that as well. Have you ever had any experience using Litmus at all for testing? And if you could just share what other tools you might use.
Yeah.
I know, because every company is different, so what happens in one and happens in the other, but if you could just share that, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, so Litmus is, a kind of a benchmark for testing. We also use email on acid. My other developer just started to find another one, but basically they're they're all email simulators. So you can put your code into them and it will show you what your code is looking like in every browser and different platforms, whether it's a mobile device or, and actually mobile for both Apple and what's the other one? The
Android.
other big one.
Android.
Yes. And so you can see on multiple devices, different browsers, how does it look like in Outlook? How does it look like in Gmail? How does it look like, and a lot of the top browsers that everyone is receiving their email in. And then it'll also help you have tools to debug. And my developers rely on that, and we utilize that for all of our testing. And when we hand off templates, they've gone through that testing process. Email has evolved tremendously in the amount of years that we've been doing it, and the whole, drag and drop programs are still valid, but usually people are coming to us for those custom solutions and very branded experiences, and also the strategy of what those email flows are and all the different types of emails that they might need. So they're coming to us for both the content, the design, and the development.
So just in continuing with that, are you setting, you mentioned something about the automations as well. Are you consulting on the number of automations, the frequency of the automation, and then creating the messaging behind the automation as well?
Yes,
And
that's
then,
what we, yes.
Okay. And it's not the team, somebody from that marketing team that comes to you and say, Christina, we want 4 automate, we want a series of 4 emails in this automation. They don't give you a guideline on the number, the frequency, or the quantity of automations, or do you come in as a professional and make those suggestions and then implement that program?
That's a good question. It depends on the client. Audible came to us with, as they have a ton of research and everything, from an Amazon company, it's all analytics. So they came to us for that. I can share that case study too. It's on our website, where they came to us knowing that if someone has not read a book, if they signed up and no one, listened to a book within a certain period of time, they were at much higher risk of canceling their subscription. So they said, if we can create a 3 to 6 message email program to try to re-engage them, to try to reactivate their subscription, we want to know what your recommendations are to do that. They called it a pre-lapse series. So someone that's lapsing in their series, someone that's lapsing in their service is much greater risk of canceling. And we want to make sure that we re-engage them quickly. We get them involved in customer service. We find them another book. What do we need to do to get them, to be listening? Tell them all the different ways we can listen. And so we created an entire series based off that. But they came to us with the intention of, maybe can we do like that 6 message series?
Right.
We should
So
probably.
it depends.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you, Dean, for your questions. And thank you, of course, Christina, for stepping up. Beautiful work, of course, as always. Congratulations on your 20th anniversary.
Thank you.
Wonderful stuff. So Christina is formerly from New York and Hoboken, or it was Hoboken, right? It was a Jersey City.
We were kind of north. We were in Port Imperial, just north of Hoboken, and right on the New Jersey Gold Coast, where we took the ferry in and out of the city after 18 years of being in the city.
And then is now in Martha's Vineyard.
Cape Cod.
I'm sorry, Cape Cod. Martha's
But
Vineyard.
I'm right next to Martha's Vineyard. I'm just not on an island. I'm on a peninsula.
Right. Any recent guests from Venezuela coming your way? Anyway, that's another discussion.
That is another discussion.
So we have a great group of members and guests today. I think it makes sense for our members to go first. I'm going to put in the chat to everyone the list in which people showed up, more or less. I put the members first, so we'll each take about 2.5 up to 2.5 minutes. So Mark, Harry, Ari Rosenberg, Michael Filato, and then we'll go to our guests. Today we have more guests than we have members, interestingly. So it's great to have you. We always try to bring in guests who are prospective members, who are interested in learning more about the Trusted Referral Network. And so the format, pretty free form, but I think the most useful thing to do is tell us who you are, what you do, what you specialize in, how we can help you and how you can help others. And this is an opportunity for you to see who you want to follow up with, right? You're only going to get 2.5 minutes of knowledge about the person, other people around in the group. You'll learn a lot more if you spend a half hour with them on Zoom or on a phone call. And that's where you start building those relationships. So I just put in the chat the order in which I'd like people to present. Mark, Harry, I will have a timer. It'll ring. If everybody else would go on mute until it's your turn, that way I can go on the speaker view and nobody will be interrupting the image. Take it away, Mark.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mark Harry, and I am an owner of a marketing company, 26 years. And Christina, I really enjoyed our one-to-one learning about you and how I could help in providing possible connections and referrals and introductions. I'm very big on that. As an owner of a marketing company that does one thing, I can't do it all. So I refer everybody out to anything related to web development for Michael, or anything software, anything related to networking. I refer to Michael. Oh, wait, Michael, you get all my referrals. Anyway, no, it's great to be able to surround myself with performance-based marketers who actually perform. We all are performance-based marketers, but some actually are good at performing in delivery first. I created this marketing delivery service for SEO, search engine optimization, about 17 years ago is when I did my big pivot to focus strictly on white label and acting as a white label agent for other agencies. I work under their label to deliver rankings in a very quick, short amount of time that focuses on their top keywords and that is relative to them and their clients so that they get paid. And then low on the totem pole, I get paid, right? I get paid last, but that's the advantage of making my partners look good, have never anything come back to bite them. And when I talk about partners, they're an SEO company. I want to write the book. So here's my need. I want to write the book so I could be the only person out there that says, I have a book called I Do SEO for SEO Companies. I think that would be fun. So if anyone has any experience in writing a book, I'd love to hear about it. I really charged about that idea because then I could talk to a digital marketer. Instead of passing a business card, I might be able to pass them 2 books and say, hey, read my book. I'm the SEO for SEO Companies, and I have a book for that. And here's a second book. Pass it along to a friend. So if you know any digital marketers that want a book, I want to write one. I'd like to get it published. I've already written 7 books, so I have experience in writing and publishing, but I really want to do it right this time. So thank you for all.
So Mark, just real quick, you should say that SEO stands for secret engine optimization, and then you can be the secret guy.
I love it. Thank you.
There you go. Mark, yeah, there's somebody in the group here today, John Parsons, who was a ghostwriter. And I also met somebody recently yesterday who is a course on how to write a book and make it a bestseller. But of course, it depends on the context. But so I can be happy to introduce you to her as well. Okay. Ari Rosenberg, you're up. You have to go off mute, Ari.
My apologies about that. Can everybody hear me? I know I was having some audio issues before.
It's a little broken up, but we can hear you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mark, Michael, and thanks, Mark, for talking before me. You always break the ice. I really appreciate it. Christina, it was great to hear you. I'd love to meet with you. Maybe we'll set up a call. I'd love to learn more about your services. Just to talk a little bit very shortly about what we do. So I represent a few brands within one agency. We're quite large, but we focus just on low budget web design, SEO marketing, paid advertising, and our specialty over the past dozen years has been really healthcare offices, dental, pediatricians, general practitioners, any kind of healthcare out there, chiropractors, and we work very well with group practices and chains. And so anybody that has any references or any clients that are looking for help specifically in healthcare, we do a lot of really good work there. And then generally we do low cost web design, SEO, and advertising management on the side. And anybody that wants to connect with me, I've already connected with a bunch of TRN members, and it's been really good so far. And I'd love to continue.
And the company is called the Doctor's Internet. And if I recall, typical client is like 5,000 a year or something.
Something around 5,000 or 6,000.
Yeah, and that includes like the website and some SEO work. So really, doctors are notoriously penurious. And so if they can get a complete marketing service, at least a starter marketing service for that kind of money, I think it's a great deal. So, and as you can see from his glasses, he also has a creative flair.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, Michael Filato.
Hello, I'm Michael Filato. I run a lead gen company, automation company. I have email, LinkedIn, and roundtables that I kind of produce for companies. The whole idea is to produce 10 to 25 meetings a month using LinkedIn, email, and roundtables. I have the capability of sending out 20 to 30,000 persona-based specialized emails using a safe SMTP server and a database with over 250 million people in the database. LinkedIn has 720 million people. I could send out 100 to 150 invites a day. Most people can only send 100 a week. The whole idea is like sales is a numbers game. So if you can be more precision based and send volume, you can get meetings for you or you can get meetings for your clients. So that's pretty much what I do. The roundtables are kind of like this. People talking about what they do. Usually they're like 30, 40, 50 people wide, and I set up breakout rooms and people talk about what they do. Michael's been on them. A couple other folks here have been on them as well. I have one tomorrow at noon. It's about top of funnel, secrets, tips, tricks, and all that type of stuff. And it's really based more for networking than anything. And I do obviously tell people what I do, which helps me as well, but I do that for other companies. I'm a veteran, have my company for the last 2 years, got it up to about $70,000 monthly recurring revenue. So it's going pretty well. And I've helped companies obviously do the same. So thanks for your time.
Absolutely. And Michael is based in Orlando or outside of Orlando and battening down the hatches for the.
Yeah. Keeps on picking up and going crazy.
I don't see any wind out your virtual window there.
It's the buildings are swaying like this.
All right. Well, we'll certainly stay safe there in Florida.
Thank you.
All right. I don't think we have anybody else on the call from Florida. So now we're going to go to our guests, starting with Jeff Strauss. Jeff, you're up.
Thanks, Michael. First thing that's crossing my mind right now is I should have done this after we met the first time months ago. So thanks for having me. I think I know who you're going to introduce to Mark. Is that Kim?
Yes.
Okay.
And you can make that introduction if you'd like, because you know her better than I do.
No, go right ahead. I actually have another introduction for Mark. I am working with someone to create a sales funnel that will be based on the book that I'm writing right now. So this woman creates sales funnels for people who have written books and want to use them for revenue generation. So I'd be happy to make that introduction for you, Mark. And also, thank you, Mark, because Mark reintroduced me to Michael, which brought me here today. And Christina, your work is beautiful. I'd love to meet with you and talk a little bit more about what you do. So I think that covers all of the thank yous in terms of my speech. So I'll talk a little bit about what I do and what my business does. We create custom-made written and video case studies for businesses to use in their marketing. I have a partner for the video aspect. I'm the writer in the business. My partner is an Emmy Award-winning journalist here in the Chicago area, and he has a video production company. And we take a journalistic and customer-centric approach to case studies where we'll work with you to figure out the story that you want to tell, help you find some clients in your book of business that would be good subjects for the case study. And then we develop unique questions to actually get those customers to tell the story that you want to tell, and we interact directly with your customers. So the case studies that we produce are in their words and not yours. So it's a matter of having a piece of social proof that will allow potential customers to trust you instead of asking them to believe you.
And the company is called Just Case Studies, isn't that correct?
That is correct.
There you go. So by the name says it all. And I love the way that he's niched down, and you can remember Jeff by the name of his company, Just Case Studies. And also, when we had a conversation, you told me that your video work can be done, in most cases is done remotely, so that it doesn't require somebody to fly. You can cover pretty much anywhere in the world, I guess.
Yes. Yep. The way our process works is that Rafer, who is my partner for video, will schedule a online meeting with the person. He'll do an interview. He uses his skills from when he was a TV journalist. And then he'll take it into his production company. He'll pull himself out of that recorded interview, and then he'll put in a bunch of graphics, make it look real sharp and classy. And then you'll have a real nice piece of video for your marketing.
And Rafer was a guest here a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, it's Weigel. Is that how do you spell his last name?
Yeah, Weigel.
Yeah, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
really talented guy and very dynamic.
His dad was a TV sports legend here in Chicago, so it's the family business.
Wow. All right, Mohammed, welcome.
First of all, thank you so much, Mohammed Siddiq from Atlanta. Christina, I loved your presentation, the way you presented. Mark, I work with a number of publishers and SEO companies, so I want to give you referrals. Michael Flato, I probably have more business than you can handle for your lead generation thing, the way you just mentioned for roundtables.
I challenge you. Let's do this.
Okay. So Eddie, I think you and I need to talk. We have so many mutual customers already working with each other, so there's something we can share. And everyone else, I'm listening very carefully. Just that I'm not ignoring anyone. So I think this is my first meeting. I think good start. I'm Mohammed Siddiq from Atlanta, Georgia. We created TV commercials for growth-minded businesses who would like to grow. Your own TV commercial puts your business in front of the audience you want to reach to, no matter what they're curious about. It costs 20 cents per TV spot. That's low, highly targeted. Love to be on a call, show you how we do it. We go live within 3 days and crystal clear, like any marketing agency for any client, B2B, B2C, anywhere in the world, we can serve them.
20 cents per TV spot. That's not per person who views it. It sounds, can you explain that?
Yeah, the great question. Let's say in your market, in let's say New York area, there are people who want to buy or sell home. There's 10,000 of them, just example. So anytime we serve a commercial to them, it's 20 cents only to your people who are in the market.
Right. So
With the
20 cents
intent.
per delivery.
Per delivery, per
Individual.
impression, yeah.
Per impression, right? And it's very targeted. So this is on over-the-top TV or?
Connected devices, yeah.
Okay, connected devices.
All smart TVs at home. 9 out of 10 homes have a smart TV now.
Right. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Really cool stuff. So like Sling TV, that sort of thing. I have Sling TV.
This one is like wherever, if you can watch Netflix on your TV, you will have the commercial for this. That's simple.
Right. Very cool.
So
what's a typical campaign? How many people does a typical campaign reach for you?
It's like most of the people who want to start, they say, okay, in my area, I want to outreach to 10,000 people to start. And it will be 20 cents each, $2,000. It's a month to month. They can cancel it anytime. We create a commercial at our time. We charge zero, and there's no contract of locking up for a long time. And we guarantee the performance. We will serve to the target person or whatever we committed. Otherwise, you 100% money back.
Wow, that's great. Okay. Very exciting. I'd like to, we should do a one-on-one so I can learn more about what you do.
Absolutely, Michael.
Okay, and
I sent every one of you to calendar, sorry, not calendar, LinkedIn invite. Okay.
thank
So
you.
when you are next
And
time on LinkedIn, just accept it. We will continue the conversation.
always on LinkedIn. So, and you were brought in by
Rajiv.
Rajiv.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us. Susan DeRobertis.
Robertus, yes, you got that.
DeRobertis. Okay.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, I was also invited by Rajiv, and of course he's not here, so he's busy. He's a busy guy. But anyway, it's a pleasure to be here and meet you all. So about me, my company is SDR Consulting, and that is my initials, and it stands for Success Driven Results. So I'm a business coach and consultant. I was a former CFO. I've worked with CEOs and taken the business out of the, out of the nosedive and bringing them back to, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures. It's really get out of that imminent collapse mindset. So I rescue you. So, and I've been doing this for over 28 years. And you want to double or triple your revenue in 9 to 15 months, that's doable. Usually people turn it around within 3 to 6 months. It all depends on what's going on and your mindset, how you think, what you're willing to do outside your usual box. So, so people are really stressed out right now. We're coming to the fourth quarter of this year. Do you have a plan? Do you have a plan for next year? Is this year shaping up the way you envisioned it? If not, I'm here to help. So please reach out to me on LinkedIn or in the chat. All my info is in the chat. So thank you so much.
And are you from Hastings on Hudson? Is that what I see from your LinkedIn?
Oh, yeah. I am, yes, Hastings on Hudson, Hudson Valley, Westchester, New York. Mm-hmm.
And I love the paintings behind you. Are those original friends,
Thank
yours?
You. These two, the bowl and the lady, yes, I painted them. And the Egyptian papyrus, the hieroglyphic, no, I did not do that. So unless I was reincarnated many moons ago, But I've been to Egypt a couple of times and, love the art, love the whole thing.
So is your, I know we're running out of time on yours, but is your work focused on financial turnarounds, or is it, what other elements of, what other functions do you get involved with?
I get involved with operations. It's not just looking at your P&L, your financial statements and saying, oh, this is out of whack, that's out of whack. No, it's really go back to the operations, how, at the very beginning, what's the paper chase, who's on what, who's on second, what is the CEO doing, not doing, and how are they thinking? How are they really, what is their vision right now? If their vision has taken them smack into a wall, then, okay, you got to rethink your vision, perhaps. So I get into all of it, really all aspects of you, the person, the owner of the firm, and your business. I take it all apart and put it back together again.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Dean Schwartz, you're up.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to meet you. And Michael, thank you for reconnecting after meeting you. I think it was 5 years ago or so. And I saw you a couple of weeks ago at another meeting. So I'll introduce myself. I go by Solution Dean. And what I do is I supercharge sales teams for productivity and revenue growth with Zoho CRM. And I like to say, or actually we say this now, that Zoho has become what they call the world's favorite CRM for many reasons, because of the simplicity of the deployment and the cost at anywhere from 1/2 to 1/3 of that of Salesforce, which is huge, or HubSpot for that matter. the CRM adoption rate by most companies is really not more than 35%. So there's just a huge open market of companies that don't have it. And I believe that the CRM is really the heart of most companies' operations, you know, depending upon that. Zoho is used by over 150,000 companies and over 50 million users. It just doesn't have the name recognition that it has, that Salesforce does. So I really target companies that do not have any CRM and that are looking for some type of sales productivity. And I specialize in the integration of the CRM with either QuickBooks or Shopify or whatever existing platforms are in place. It's not my intention to go in and replace a platform. Certainly not. It's really to work in conjunction with it. My background really came, served as a VP of marketing. I came from the direct response world many years ago, for people that remember that. And during the COVID, I transitioned and I became a Zoho partner because I built my first CRM back, 2000 in SQL. So I really focus on small to mid-sized businesses, companies that don't have any CRM, and more targeted to that is really the manufacturing space. I'm a member of the Connecticut Manufacturers Association, and I do have a bunch of clients that are in the manufacturing space. But what's really nice to meet everybody today is I do basically, as the front end, farm out a lot of my resources for the SEO, for the the web design and development, for a lot of the other components. So it's really great to meet a bunch of new people that I can incorporate and bring into my network, because as we all know here, we're really the orchestrator. The work comes in, we've got to find somebody, depending upon size, fit, and condition, to send it out. So it's great to meet everybody, and if I can help in any way, I'm certainly happy to as well. But it's just so anyway. So that's the short on me. If anybody has any questions, I put my name and my LinkedIn and my meeting in the chat, and I'm more than happy to help or meet with anybody as such.
Thank you so much. So Zoho is a lot more capable than it used to be 10, 15 years ago. It's really grown. John Sadowski.
Good morning, everyone. Michael, thank you for inviting me again. I think I've met some of you in previous networking and one-on-ones. Mark, I actually owe you an apology. You and I had a one-on-one a few months ago. You followed up with a couple of emails. I didn't have anything to report, but I didn't get back to you. So I will do so. Dean, you and I met somewhere, I don't remember when. Christina, I think you and I met in the Google building at a networking thing many years ago. So anyway, I run a company called Metro Valley Advertising. We're media planners and buyers. We work with business owners, chief marketing officers of mid-sized companies. They usually come to us because they're not getting the leads and the sales that they want from their advertising, which usually comes down to a problem either with their strategy or tactics. So, our job is to figure out, and learn about their sales process. How do they generate awareness, engagement, and conversion? And then we use digital and traditional advertising to solve that problem for them. We mostly work in three categories, which is legal, and that's primarily personal injury attorneys. Healthcare, although most of our clients spend at least $5,000 a month. So it might be interesting to see where you and I dovetail. And retail, and again, with retailers who are selling high-end products and services, things like, furniture, flooring and tile, auto dealers, when they come back to advertising, that sort of thing.
Yeah, we were having a discussion about auto dealers, and they now have more customers than they can serve. So they're not spending a lot of money on advertising. Had firsthand experience when I had to pay $5,000 over list, or $3,000. I negotiated him down to $3,000.
There you go. You won.
Yeah, I won, exactly. All right. So who is next? John Parsons, hailing all the way from the Seattle area.
Thanks, Michael. It's really great to be here. I've been looking for networking groups, and that's where we actually met. Michael and I at another networking group, and we went one-to-one, and he brought me here, so I appreciate it. I've been a journalist and a writer forever. I started at Adobe Systems in marketing, but I became I was involuntarily a freelancer from Adobe. And I started writing case studies and white papers and all sorts of material. But then in 2017, I decided I wanted to write books. So I've been a professional ghostwriter since then. I've written, edited, or co-authored, one co-authorship, about 17 or 18 books. I've kind of lost count. And I work a lot through hybrid publishers. But I'm being torn in two at the moment because my first book was a text. The one I wrote was a textbook that I wrote with a Cal Poly professor emeritus, and we decided, perhaps foolishly, to incorporate video into our courseware. And there's a special scanning app that he helped develop that when the student scans a certain page of the book, they get access to videos. Well, we had to find videos related to that. So depending on who's telling the story, either my sons, who are both designers and into video, they either volunteered or were drafted into helping me with my book project. So we ended up curating and including about 350 videos with the book and recording some original stuff from Professor Levinson and myself. And as a result of that effort, we started a video company. So right now, my other hat is helping our video business get along. And we do just some standard remote capture videos. Basically, our niche is content for agencies who don't have the bandwidth to do the kind of video that they think they need for social or for their website, for clients' websites. But also, because of this book work, we wanted to do something more interactive. So in about 2 weeks' time, we're going to release an interactive chapter of this book that has far more interactivity in the video in the presentation that includes video, it includes animations that was originally designed for student consumption, but also as proof of concept for marketing. We're working on things like interactive postcards, which is a video-based deliverable that has a user journey component. If you want to know more about this, you pick this option, that option, and it's basically a series of videos and or animations that are that branch.
So John, I got to cut you off here, but I may want to introduce you to Kimberly, who's Jeff, what's Kimberly's last name? I have to look it up, but she's the one that has a course on how to write your own book. And some people in her class don't want to actually write the book. They want somebody else to write the book. So that may be an opportunity for you.
The last name is Day, D-A-Y.
Day, Kimberly Day. Okay. Yeah.
John is someone that was drafted into helping his father with editing and writing a book or several books. It's not that bad. I'm sure they don't regret it. And I'm sure they don't feel.
I mean, I'm in our studio right now, and they're in their element. So it's the draft turned out quite well for them, actually. And my wife, thank God, is our CEO, because I couldn't manage my way out of ordering a latte. But
cool. And I love your term that you started with, involuntary freelancer. All right.
Oh,
that should be a title of a book. I'm sure
actually, yeah. No, I my first love is book writing, and I work with a lot of different business coaches. And when I wrote a book for someone who does virtual events professionally. Since 2009, his firm has run virtual events.
I'm going to have to actually cut you off because we only have 2 minutes. And Jeff Baer, before you move away, I don't want you to miss the opportunity. I saw you came in late,
Michael.
but
yep.
I just got to open the front door for my cleaning crew.
All right. So while he's opening his front door, I'll just briefly, I didn't realize that Jeff had joined. I didn't have him on my list. So my name's Michael Bendit. This is my my networking group. It's actually your networking group as well. And I'll tell you about my core business. If we haven't met, we should talk more. But Jeff, can you give your pitch in 2 minutes?
A lot of pressure, but so I'm Jeff Baer. Thank you, Michael, for having me. I actually have 2 businesses. I own a digital agency that specializes in local lead generation with an affinity for home service related businesses. But my primary focus these days is in developing software. I'm releasing 2 titles simultaneously right now. One is digital business card software, which is free for all. So I'll make sure I drop a link in for that. And the second is a tool to help any business get more reviews on Google, Facebook, and Yelp all in one. So that's kind of where my focus is right now, and it keeps me busy.
All right. And based in Chicago area?
Chicagoland. Yeah.
Chicagoland. Wonderful. And you say you do work for home services companies like plumbers, flooring, roofers.
Kitchen, bath remodeling, insulation. My core expertise is typically a company that goes and sees the person at their house versus, like contrary to like a chiropractor where everybody comes to them.
Right.
So I, do dabble in CRM work, not Zoho, but I'm pretty much the in-house. I become the in-house go-to technology guy as it relates to internet. I don't do hardware
Right.
or things like that, but I,
Set up their marketing.
Every business gets hit a million different ways, social media, cold email, and most of my clients just don't know who to trust, and they trust me. So I kind of sift through the maze and set them on the right path.
I apologize for going over a little bit. I think we just, Mohammed has to leave. It is the top 2 minutes after the top of the hour. I usually go last. For those who can stay, I'll do a brief one. My name's, for those of you who need to drop off, feel free. I know it is a little bit over the top here. By the way, before you drop off, if you click on the chat and then click on the 3 dots on the right, you'll be able to save the first menu item is save chat. You'll get everybody's information, so that would be a good time to do that. By the way, thank you all for, particularly our guests, for joining today. We don't have a meeting next week because it's Yom Kippur, and also I'm going to be traveling. So if anybody wants to follow up with anybody else, please do so directly. And I will see those who join in 2 weeks. And I'm gonna close it now. You all know me. We've all had one-on-ones, so I'll pass on my quick intro. Thank you all, and thank you, Christina, for picking up on the last minute on the showcase.
Exactly.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.